good if we start off with just a little bit of background about the actual United Nations, so you can see how Model United Nations mirrors the actual UN. This charter established the Security Council, the General Assembly, the Secretariat, and the International Court of Justice. The Secretariat carries out the daily functions of the United Nations, so that's what Amy and I are serving as your Secretaries General this year. But the current real Secretary General of the United Nations is Secretary Ban Ki-moon. And so since its initial founding in 1945, only 45 members of that initial group has grown to include more than 192 voting members in the General Assembly plenary. So although you might have heard about the actual UN, you may not know how it functions on a daily basis. So with this in mind, I'd like to show you a brief clip of the Security Council, which meets in the UN headquarters in New York City. You might see a familiar face here. President Barack Obama chaired the Security Council. He's the first U.S. president in the history of this body that has chaired this most important council. So let's go ahead and watch that for a few minutes.
The 6,191st meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is before the Council in document S/agenda/6091, which reads, quote, maintenance of international peace and security, nuclear proliferation, and nuclear disarmament. Unless I hear any objection, I shall consider the agenda adopted. Agenda is adopted. I wish to warmly welcome the distinguished heads of state and government, the Secretary General, the Director General of the IAEA, ministers, and other distinguished representatives present in the Security Council chamber. Your presence is an affirmation of the importance of the subject matter to be discussed. The Security Council Summit will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. Members of the Council have before them document S/2009/473, which contains the text of a draft resolution prepared in the course of the Council's prior consultations. I wish to draw Council members' attention to document S/2009/463, containing a letter dated 16 September 2009 from the United States of America, transmitting a concept paper on the item under consideration. In accordance with the understanding reached earlier among members, the Security Council will take action on the draft resolution before it prior to hearing statements from the Secretary General and Council members. Accordingly, I shall put the draft resolution to vote now. Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2009/473 please raise their hand? The results of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution is received. Unanimously, 15 votes in favor. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 1887 of 2009.
Okay, so that was just a little brief synopsis. You actually got to see the beginning of a session and the passing of a resolution, which is what your goal as delegates to the Model United Nations Conference will be. Clearly, they are professionals, so it does not go that smoothly generally. There was a lot backdoor negotiations and things prior going on there, versus you're going to get the opportunity to discuss those things when you're caucusing and your committees. So as you can see, there was just a ton of work that went into that. And so part of preparation for the conference is learning how to do position papers. So So I'm going to turn it over to my Assistant Secretary General External, Katie Lukacs, and she's going to discuss position papers with you.